Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we have a deeply powerful and emotional story that's sure to leave a lasting impact on you. This is the journey of Liz Murray, a young woman who went from living on the streets to earning a place at one of the most prestigious universities in the world, Harvard. Her life story is more than just inspiring, it's a reminder that no matter how impossible the odds may seem, determination, grit, and hope can open doors you never imagined. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into one of the most remarkable transformations you'll ever hear. Liz Murray was born on September 23, 1980, in the Bronx, New York City, to parents who were deeply addicted to drugs. Her father, Peter, and her mother, Jean, were both heavily dependent on cocaine, and both contracted HIV. From the very beginning, Liz's life was full of hardship. Her parents were loving in their own way but were unable to provide even the most basic care. Most days, there was no food in the fridge, no clean clothes, and no sense of structure. Liz remembers her childhood home not as a place of safety, but as a place filled with chaos, darkness, and unpredictability. The rent often went unpaid, utilities were cut off, and she had to grow up much faster than most kids her age. Despite the pain and the poverty, Liz was a highly observant and intelligent child. She saw the effects of addiction up close, how it robbed her parents of their potential and left her family in a constant state of crisis. At school, she was frequently absent, often showing up dirty or hungry. She was bullied for her appearance and for the smell of her clothes, which hadn't been washed in weeks. But underneath the surface, Liz had an extraordinary mind, one that was waiting for an opportunity to bloom. Still, that opportunity seemed far out of reach. By the time she was 15, her mother had died of AIDS, and her father had moved into a homeless shelter. Liz found herself completely alone, sleeping on the streets, park benches, and subway trains. At this point in her life, many people would have given up. Homeless, grieving, and without a support system, Liz could have easily become another tragic statistic. But instead, something changed inside her. The pain became fuel. She began to realize that the life she had known didn't have to be her destiny. She knew that education was the key to changing her circumstances, and despite being homeless, she made a decision: she was going to go back to school. Not just attend, but excel. At age 17, Liz enrolled at the Humanities Preparatory Academy, a public alternative high school in Manhattan that catered to students who had struggled in traditional schools. She didn't have a home, but she had hope. She studied by candlelight in subway stations and stairwells. She would often go days without eating. Sometimes, she stayed up all night walking the streets and then went straight to school in the morning. But no matter what, she never stopped pushing forward. Her passion and work ethic were unmatched. She completed 4 years of high school in just 2 years, all while living without a stable home. One of the turning points in Liz's story came when she applied for the New York Times College Scholarship, a prestigious award granted to students who had overcome incredible odds. Her essay didn't just talk about the challenges she had faced, it shared her truth in a raw, powerful voice. She wrote about sleeping in stairwells, about her mother's death, and about the hunger and shame that had followed her like shadows. And yet, the essay was not filled with bitterness. It was filled with hope. It was about dreams. It was about breaking free. The scholarship committee was so moved by her story that they awarded her the scholarship. That scholarship opened the doors to Harvard University. Liz was accepted and began attending classes at one of the most elite academic institutions in the world. The girl who once had no bed to sleep in, no food to eat, and no one to depend on, now walked the historic halls of Harvard Yard, surrounded by students from the wealthiest families in the world. And yet, she belonged. Her journey was different, but her mind was just as capable, her heart just as committed. Liz's time at Harvard was more than just academic. It was healing. It was transformation. And even after she left Harvard temporarily to care for her ailing father, who also died of AIDS, she returned and eventually completed her degree. But perhaps even more impressive than her academic achievements is what she did next. She didn't stop with her own success. Liz decided to use her voice to uplift others. She became a motivational speaker, traveling across the country to share her story with students, teachers, and communities. Her talks are raw and real, not sugar-coated, but honest about what it takes to survive and thrive. In 2010, Liz published her memoir, Breaking Night, which became a New York Times bestseller. The title refers to a street phrase meaning staying up all night until the sun rises, a nod to the many nights she spent awake and alone, waiting for the darkness to end. Her book was a sensation and has been translated into multiple languages. It gave people around the world a glimpse into what it means to live with resilience. That same year, her life story was turned into a Lifetime movie titled Homeless to Harvard, The Liz Murray Story, starring Thora Birch as Liz. The film touched millions and introduced her incredible story to even more people. Today, Liz Murray is not only a graduate of Harvard and a published author, she is also the co-founder of the Arthur Project, a youth mentoring organization named after her mentor, Arthur, who played a pivotal role in her development. The organization helps underserved youth gain confidence, find purpose, and overcome their own obstacles. Through her work, Liz continues to pay it forward, making sure that other kids who feel hopeless or invisible know that they matter, and that they, too, can dream big. Her journey teaches us that the human spirit is capable of extraordinary things. It's not just a rags to riches story. It's a story about survival, about pain, about transformation, and about the power of choice. Every day, Liz made the choice not to give up. She made the choice to show up to school, to stay hopeful, and to believe that her life could be different. In a world that often tells people they are only as good as their circumstances, Liz Murray proved that with passion and persistence, anything is possible. So what can we learn from Liz? That resilience is stronger than circumstance. That education can break cycles of poverty. That hope is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And that even when the world turns its back on you, you can still find your way forward. Her story challenges all of us to look beyond excuses and limitations and to believe in the impossible. Because she didn't just get into Harvard. She earned it, she fought for it, and she did it while carrying a weight that most of us will never understand. As we come to the end of today's video, take a moment to reflect. What is the biggest obstacle in your life right now? What story are you telling yourself about what you can or can't do? Liz's journey reminds us that our stories are still being written, and that every chapter, no matter how dark, has the potential to lead to light. Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below telling us how Liz's story inspired you. And as always, stay strong, stay inspired, and never stop believing in yourself. We'll see you in the next video.